Ho, 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 ho! 5 o'clock on the dot in the spot. It's Break On Through with your host, the unimpeachable president for life, Jeffrey K. Clayton. Hey, Stephen and Tom, how y'all doing today? Derek, you made it live today, Derek. RoboPuff, all right. Chris, Nathan Trusty, old Trusty Nathan Trusty. All right, watching from Louisiana. That's here we are in 96 something degree temperatures, 105 degree heat index. Whew. There's Brandon. Wesley, how you doing, man? How's everybody doing today? Hope you're doing good. You may hear some clanging and banging going on during this. That would be the fireworks in the sky. Some of the natural sort. It was pretty rough a minute ago, but if the power goes out, the Wi-Fi is going to go out, which means I'm going to lose signal. So this may be the shortest break on through in break on through history. I know y'all are noticing my stylish hat that I got in the mail yesterday. Look at that. Hembrae 2020. Fuck your feelings. I like that. You know something else I got in the mail? See that behind me there? Do you know what that is? That's a movie poster that came all the way from the great country of Belgium. You know what movie it is? Stunt Rock. Now I'll tell you, if you don't know about Stunt Rock, then you probably don't know nothing about rock and roll. Mixes two great things, rock and roll and stunts. I was turned on to this by the great Captain Catastrophe. He's the one that sent me the poster. He also sent me this laser disc of Underneath the Planet of the Apes from the Netherlands. Oh, there's Leisure. His real name's Lee. Leisure is his punk rock name. Well, you know what? Let me tell you what I'm going to do today. Today I brought with me a copy of Boys From Brutalsville. I figure maybe if I look on the back of it, I will think of some stuff to talk about the recording of it. I told some stories. I kind of feel like I skipped over that period fairly quick, and I don't know. I think maybe there's some stories or some details I'm leaving out. It usually helps when I have someone, kind of bouncing this stuff off me, letting me know, hey, remember when we did this? Or, no one from back in these days is talking to old JC anymore. Well, Sir Barry Hannibal is. Okay, let's see. That intro, that was Joe Young. Welcome to Brutalsville. Don't let the sun set on your sorry ass. That was Joe Young. Guns A-Blazing, I always like that song, especially playing it live. Run My World. I don't remember which I like better, Run My World on this LP or the single version. That y'all know about that single version. I think it was a split we did with Born Bavarian. Timothy Layton wants to know how I met Thomas O'Keefe. You know what? I'm going to get into that. I think it was you that asked that the other day. I'll answer that. You may have to remind me again. But, yeah, we did a split with Born Bavarian, a single. Wasn't very well distributed over here, so it's rare. If you ever see one, pick it up. Hell, if I ever see one, I'll pick it up. Let's see. So you like playing that one, John? Yeah, I like doing it. At the beginning of the set, though, not toward the end. God almighty. I don't get a break. Yeah, a lot of you were talking about you'd like 6 Days on the Road. I thought it was a pretty good version. I liked it. I told you the whole story about Melting Pot and all the bullshit that it caused. Smoking Fire is a cover of Screaming Lord Sutch. If you know anything about us, man, we've been covering Screaming Lord Sutch for a long time. The first one we did was B-side to Two-Headed Dog. We did a Rocky Erickson Screaming Lord Sutch single. Speaking of which, let me ask you guys something right now and be thinking about this. Don't start popping answers now because it's hard for me to pay attention to what you're saying and what I'm looking at and trying to talk. But at the end, what ANTiSEEN singles would you like to see reproduced? Like the original cover, 7-inch, maybe pressed on a colored vinyl, some real thick 80 gram, 180 gram, not 80 gram. Be thinking about that. I got some in mind, but I forget about them. I don't think about our records all the time. But I was real proud of that Smoking Fire. I thought we did all right. Broke Down Blues, that was one Joe wrote. Joe wrote that whole song. And everything in it was true. It was all based on stuff that happened to us. Lots of road breakdowns. At the end of it, you hear the sounds of a pond, you know, like frogs and crickets and night birds and stuff. That Jamie Hoover recorded that right outside of his house. That he used to live in Clover, and that's where he had his studio, the Washteria. And he recorded that outside one night. He just put a bunch of mics up and recorded it, and I heard it, and I was like, man, I want to use that on something, you know. And it doesn't really, you can't really hear the effect of it on LP when you got to flip the sides, but when you're listening to it on CD and you hear the night pond sounds, and then you hear the helicopters come before we start Commando. That was a really cool effect. I was pretty happy about that, how it came out. But yeah, man, we did Commando, and there was an article that came out in a paper out of Cleveland, and this is one of the first people to really get the kind of, you know, let's attach some kind of IST to these guys, and they were the first to really get it rolling. As a matter of fact, that article's still up. You go look at it. You can look at it now. But yeah, that guy said something to the effect of, the song Commando is a nice, fun, tongue-in-cheek song when the Ramones do it, but in these guys' hands, it takes more of a sinister turn. asshole. One of my favorite originals on here was Sod, a cowbell song. Sabu, that's another song where we did an album version and a single version. We used to do that a lot. We used to have a song and go ahead and record a version of it and go ahead and put it out as a single. Sometimes we didn't even know what the next album was going to be or if it was even going to be on it. And then we go to record the album, we just record a whole different version of it. I mean, not different, but a different recording. And I like doing that. It's all part of the record collecting thing, you know. And a lot of the groups from the '60s would do stuff like that too. Babyface Killer, that's a Barry song. That's one of my favorite Barry songs. Talk Show Trash was kind of funny, and Backlash. I didn't care much for Backlash. That was a Barry song, but I don't know. It didn't never resonate with me very much. But I don't know. I don't know what other stories to tell. I told you about making the cover, all that stuff. So I guess we need to start moving on into Bad Will Ambassadors, huh? So. Yeah, see, you guys are making fun of that. They took a more sinister turn, or whatever the hell he said. Like cherry soda, anyone? All right, let's see. Bad Will Ambassadors. That gets a lot of mixed reviews from our fan base. I like the album. I liked it. On that one and this one, I felt the production was a little too slick. I would have preferred a rougher sound. Huh? Hey, Brad Mullins. And that's the only thing I thought was wrong with it. And you know, one of the things I liked most about Bad Will Ambassadors, besides the fact that it had Cosmo and the Dean of Sods on one record. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on there. I like the fact that I really like the song that Joe did on there called Cupid. It's the way we ended the album. I'm going to give you a little bit of background on that. Joe called me up one day, and man, he was livid. Livid, because he just seen Faith Hill on TV doing some kind of interview about how when she was with her husband and she got with, I don't know who she's married to now, the other country star she's married to, but she, you know, basically instead of saying, oh yeah, well I cheated on my other husband and went, you know, with this guy and started banging him, she's just like, she made some kind of excuse like, well, you know, you can't help where Cupid's going to shoot his arrows. And man, Joe was livid. He said, man, I wrote a song. It's about her. It's called Cupid. And we were going to do it just typical Joe playing style, you know, but it just wasn't going anywhere in our opinion. And after we left the studio that day, I was thinking, man, what can we do to that? And you know what I started thinking about? I started thinking about an old Funkadelic record. Cosmic Slop. There's a couple songs on there where it just sounds like the entire band is singing. Like from different points in the room too. You know, not like that everyone's got a, right, just like that everybody in the band's singing. And I was like, man, that's what we need. We need it to where we're all in the same room singing, but at different points at the microphone. And I was pretty pleased with the effect of that. I think I mentioned to y'all before that this album had a lot more Barry and Doug writing on it. Joe and I just kind of took a back seat. We're just like, well, you guys are writing. And see, there's one thing. When you come into this band and you're a songwriter, the most successful way for your songs to get done, I mean, like if you're just wanting to make tunes, then yeah, you're probably going to get, your songs will be used. But if you're one of these that want to write lyrics too, then you got to kind of write like you're talking from my perspective. See, I can't sing what you feel and make it believable. I don't like woe is me songs, pity me songs, and stuff like that. You know, it's like if you want to write an ANTiSEEN, you got to write something that Jeff Clayton would more than likely say. And most of the guys that we had, especially Doug and Barry. Barry is probably, and now Malcolm. Malcolm can really write from my point of view. I mean, just because we've known each other for so long, and it's not hard for him to figure out. You know, if I want to write a song on this subject, what would Clayton want to say? You know, or how would he want to say it? Like, we had one member of the band come to me with some lyrics, something like, the beast within tears out of my skin while I'm howling at the moon. All this kind of horse shit. It's like, nah. You know, had lyrics handed to me about God, I can't even remember some of these stupid lyrics, but it don't work. Malcolm is tuned in, but not tuned out. Right? So, someone I saw a minute ago, I did catch the question, what's the story of the intro of FTK? That was done by our good friend and early record company mogul, Jeff Skipsky. Jeff Skipsky stayed here in Clayton Manor this past Friday night. See, man, we're all still connected there. He's going down to Atlanta to see his brother do some kind of racing, and he stayed here for me. You know, me and Barry and him went out to dinner, and that was him doing it. He recorded on cassette from a story he told us about when he went to see Danzig at the ANTiSEEN in Houston. Now, we have a pretty good history with the ANTiSEEN. We got some crazy shows we played there. Some violent shows. But he said that Danzig was walking, like you had to go up these stairs to get to the dressing room. You went up the stairs and then you did a little, you know, like this to the landing. And he said he kind of hollered up the hall at him. He said, "Hey, Danzig, what about the kids?" And he said Danzig turned around and said, "Fuck the kids." So that's where that came from. And we had Jeff do it in the voice that he told it to us in, because it had us laughing. So it's all kind of inside jokes. But let me see if I find any more questions that you guys did. And I know this is making a loud noise. Sorry about that. Fuck it. I can't go down there and see. But But I'll tell you this, we that album was being made in a very weird time for me, especially. I was in a marriage, my second one to be exact, that was quickly crumbling to an end. And you know, even when it's bad stuff, you kind of hate to see things end, but you know it's gonna you know it's bound to happen. And man, I was just I was not in my right mind to pay attention to a lot of what was going on. That's another reason we kind of let Doug and Barry take the steering wheel on this one. But and this is one of them things I got to be diplomatic about. One of the things that in time did not hold up well through time was the cover. And I am not by any means putting down Ryan Almighty's artwork. I love the guy's artwork. It's been on our biggest album ever. It was on our first single when we got back together after Joe died. Ryan Almighty is one of my favorite artists. I'm afraid that it was during a time that I didn't give him very much to. I didn't give him very good ideas to work with, and the look it had was kind of that airbrush computer look, which aged it very quickly. Like in 2 or 3 years, it already looked like something that happened. You know, computer stuff. I don't like computer stuff, man. And I blame myself. I don't blame Ryan. He produced what I asked, and I just felt like I was not plugged in well enough to think it through, and just at that point probably just didn't give a shit, you know. So I mean, I guess some people like it, some people didn't. And if you blame me, please don't blame Ryan. Like I said, he is one of my favorites. He's one of the best artists out there. But I don't know, in a few years, when it comes time to repackage it, maybe me and him will team up again and maybe pound that idea out a little better. Oh yeah. Let's see. What I didn't bring a copy of Bad Will and Bastards in front of me. You know what? I don't even have none. I mean, I got a trunk where I put the copies I'm keeping, but I don't get them out and listen to them all the time. Well, let me ask you some. Let's start asking you guys something. We'll talk some more history next week, but you got this yet? ANTiSEEN and Jerry A. It's not a split with Jerry A. It's ANTiSEEN with Jerry A singing. Jerry A, Poison Idea. Now, I give you a pass on not knowing stunt rock, but I ain't giving you a pass on not knowing who Jerry A is. There's my pretty wife again. Hey, baby. So, if you ain't got one, you better get one. These are selling out fast. Jerry's selling out his. I'm selling out mine. TKO's selling out theirs. And I'm going to tell you something. It's all on black vinyl. Not for long. Pretty soon, there's going to be a yellow vinyl version. And that's all I got for you on details. Pretty soon. I don't know how many there'll be. I seriously doubt there'll be very many. You guys seen these, right? The silk screen rare edition overruns. I know you've seen them because these things are flying out the dough. Look at there. Check it out. God almighty. That's rare as fuck. It's only 66 of these. Now, we don't have none stashed away somewhere that, you know, when the 66 run out, we'll go, oh, we found another 14 of them. No, that's it. This is it. I have a feeling that record will get repressed one day, you know. But, y'all gotta hurt Tom. If you want them, man, you gotta jump in. They're going out the door now. I'm telling you. Hell, I had some more shit to talk to y'all about, and I can't think of what it is. Damn, how long have I even been on? I probably haven't been on very long, have I? Who knows? Oh, there's Orange Beanie all the way from California. Sunny California. Oh, I'm going to be recording soon. Me and my good buddy Steve Wenzel. Going to be recording some stuff. You know, we're in shutdown. We ain't touring. We ain't be playing no shows. Me and my good buddy Steve Wenzel, man, we're going to record some old R&B songs. Y'all know I love that stuff. You know, we're gonna try our hand at recording some, and I'll let you know what the end result is. TKO may want to put it out. I may have to put it out myself. Either way, I'll have something for you. If it comes out good, we will we'll let you know what's going to happen with it. Someone says I ship super fast. Hey man, I try to get them out. I got some orders today. I'm gonna get them out today. Hey Bill, why was Bad Will on Scary and not TKO? Man, at the time, TKO wasn't doing LP full lengths. They went through most of our catalog, reissuing it, and they put out CD versions and LP versions. And it was at that time, that kind of awkward time where LPs just weren't doing anything. Matteo from the great country of Italy, welcome. And that was the one record that there was no American vinyl release. We were going to release a vinyl version of it in America a few years later on Green Mist Records, which for all intents and purposes was Steel Cage Records. And there is a test pressing that has the entire Bad Will Ambassadors on it with the 3 singles added into the song order. So yeah, I don't know. I was talking to Rainey about that the other day. We were talking about future reissue stuff. And that stuff's going to be down the road a little bit, but we touch on it a little bit, and we want to try to put out a version that has all the studio stuff that we recorded during that session on one record. If we can get it all on there without the sound suffering too bad, then we will. But hell, did y'all think about the question I asked you? The singles. What would you like to see reissued? Like reissued the way it came out, like the cover, maybe better, maybe like a better quality printing, colored vinyl record. Because I was already thinking, I talked to Rainey at TKO. We talked yesterday. And I talked to him about the wanting to reproduce the My God Could Beat Up Your God single that came out mainly in Australia. Doing a reissue of that. Hey, John Adam, you say doing the Roast Tattoo song, but that was a split with the Hookers. One day I plan on, putting together a bunch of singles comp LPs, like the splits and the compilation tracks, crap like that. Man, we got a few, maybe about 5 or 6 years worth of stuff to do yet. Psycho Killer on colored vinyl. That actually, Rainey talked about that himself. 7-inch box set. Like just a bunch of the singles in one box set. I mean, would it have now, Dave? I know you're a record man. I know you know what you got in mind when you say that. Are you talking about just all the 7 inches, or maybe a few of them with one all new 7 inch? Because all the 7 inches would be tough, man. That's an undertaking, and that would be expensive. And it'd take forever to put out. But I don't know. Give me your thoughts. If you don't want to do it all here, PM me and let me know what you think. But got any more questions? Any more good knowledge that you want to pick my brain and walk away with, that you can keep forever? Five, 7 inches in a box would be cool. Yeah, okay. Like maybe all the early ones, huh? Reproduced just like they were with the inserts and all that stuff, huh? That may be something we could pull off. Whatever became of Tillman, I do not know. Let's see, what's this? Mark. What was the band you and Dave? Man, David Vincent from Morbid Angel and I were friends. We became friends right when I moved to Charlotte. He was working at the Milestone as a bartender. And, we had a band. We took a shot at it called Worthless Creed, and man, I got a cassette somewhere of a rehearsal we did. Man, if I could ever find that shit, I'd put out all that pre-ANTiSEEN stuff. I got some of that pre-ANTiSEEN stuff, man, on cassettes. Because now this is a project that Mark and I have talked about for years doing. I have 2 recording sessions that were done at the Record Exchange record store here in Charlotte before Drastic ever came out. Those were recorded and engineered by Scott Savage of the Streets. I've still got those master tapes. Now, I imagine some of the stuff isn't that good, but I just imagine, in a historical thing, I think it would be something the audience would be interested in, Especially here, you would hear songs that taking form. It might have been called something completely different at one point, and then change it down the road. Looks like the main consensus is concentrating on the early shite. Man, I got something to lay on y'all. It's going to be fairly soon, but I can't say yet. You remember, it's what Cosmo used to call a rock and roll secret. Maybe if you look into the psychedelic sun and bite the cosmic cookie, you will see the vision that I have laid out for everyone to groove on very soon. Do a jam session, no practice, just make up as you go along. That would be that'd be pretty horrible, I imagine. The words would be funny. Probably something we couldn't put out these days, though, because it might hurt some feelings. Do a live album of all the songs you don't like playing live. Hey, speaking of that, did any of you guys see that last Black Sabbath show DVD? It showed that after, like a day or so after they played the show, they all got together in the studio and played live songs that they didn't play live. Like Changes and stuff. Man, that was amazing. I love that shite. Come on, let's crank some questions, because I'm getting ready to hit the road. Try to get some more history, starting the Bad Will Ambassadors next week. Who had a good singer? Well, man, I can't read these damn questions. They go too fast. And I know I'm making a hell of a noise every time I bump this damn thing. Tell the Danzig story? Alright, I'm going to tell the Danzig story. David Vincent played me Overkill. That's where I first heard Motorhead, the Overkill album. Yep, David Vincent gets credit for that. I saw a question, any talk of reissuing the Mongrels? Yes. Is Doug Knipe doing any bands? I don't think so. Oh, Jeff, you're talking about when Black Sabbath had a good singer? No, this is when they had Ozzy. Unfortunately, Dio had already passed by this time and didn't do the last show with them. But, let's see. Yeah, we put the songs that were download only, put them on there at the same time. But, man, we got a lot of good stuff planned. Lots of good stuff planned. But I'm going to tell the Danzig story. I think I told you part of it before when we opened. It was the first tour Danzig did as Danzig. Everybody had heard Sam Hain at that point, and I don't know. I don't know if the album was out yet, because Tired, y'all. 4:30 this morning. I don't know if we'd heard the stuff yet, but you know, we figured it was going to be a big deal, and it was a big crowd there, and we were the only opening band, and the crew there, they knew what our stage shows were like, so they go start putting plastic over Danzig's equipment, and their road manager, you know, some big New York asshole, just you know, yelling at the crew and everything. And Joe walked up to him and says, "Well, I'll tell you what," and he goes, "about midway through our show, our singer's going to cut his head and start slinging blood everywhere, real blood." And he says, "If you want to be the ones to go tell Mr. Danzig why there's blood all over his gear, then be my guest." And he turned and walked away. And then the guy started, you know, instructing how to put the plastic in. Oh, yeah, well, yeah. All right. My wife, Dee, back then, she was a big Danzig fan. She had a bunch of those early Misfit records. The ones that y'all paying big money for these days. Or buying a cheaper bootleg. But, man, she had a stack of them. And she was, she wanted to get them signed. Well, we're done playing, you know, Danzig's done playing, and then, you know, it was time for us to go. And so I figured Danzig was on the bus, which I figured my wife was on the bus. So I go to the damn bus, and I'm just like knocking on the door, and the guy won't let me in. And by this time, have I ever been known as a guy who's got a short temper or an explosive temper? Well, yeah. So I start pulling on the damn door, and the guy keeps holding the door shut. And he's like, "Get out of here!" And so now I'm kicking the door. "Open the goddamn door, motherfucker! I'm gonna call the police." I said, "Call them!" You call them today and they wouldn't do anything. So, but back then they would. And so now I'm about to explode. But while I'm out here kicking the bus door, Dee had already come out of the club, walked through the parking lot, going to our car, looking for me. So we did this bit. She goes out, I go in. I'm back in the club now. And now, I'm like the bull in the china shop now. And I see that dressing room door and there's a light on in it. Man, I go and I kick the door open. Boom! There's no one in there but Mr. Danzig. Looking in the mirror, flexing. Looks over at me. "Hey, what's up?" And I'm like, "Hey, what's going on?" But now I see there's nobody in there. Kind of felt like an idiot for a second. But he talked to me for a second, you know, and he could tell I was geared up and antsy. I mean, when I went through that door, it wasn't like, "Oh, hey, what you got?" I mean, it was boom! And so, you know, he says, "All right, man, thanks for playing the show and everything, blah, blah, blah," you know. And so I'm going out, and here my wife comes inside. But she comes inside, and, you know, she's got her record signed and everything. She's, you know, beaming. One thing he said to me, he goes, He goes, man, you kind of remind me of Henry Rollins. No, I didn't get that. I didn't get that at all. I knew they were friends and stuff. I don't know if he was being a wiseacre or what, but fast forward a few years. We're opening Repo Cheapo over on Central Avenue. Up the street is the world famous Charlotte comic book store, Heroes Aren't Hard to Find. And Danzig, I guess, had done some kind of comic book at this point and was doing some kind of in-store or something. And I got up in the line, and I didn't have anything for him to sign. I think I might have gave him something. Maybe gave him one of the horror movie shirts we were doing, and I'm not sure. But I just remember I said to him, he was shaking my hand, and I said, hey, man, you remember me? He looked at me, he says, man, you look familiar. And I said, I'm that Henry Rollins guy. And, man, he goes, oh. And he kind of started laughing. But he's just like, hey, man. He goes, how you doing? And I said, I'm doing good. You know, he's glad to see you're still around, blah, 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 you know. And that's the last time I guess I ever spoke to him. That was a long time ago. I don't know. Maybe if you saw that story, it was a little bit more crazy than the way I told it. But, I mean, man, it's like, you know when you get that kind of mad that you just start going through somewhere and, like, even your friends just, like, no, you know, like someone would go, man, you better stop him. You know, my bandmates are just like, man, ain't nothing I can do. I'm not going to fuck with him. No, that show was at the Pterodactyl Club when it was over there on Freedom. Completely gone now. It's a condo. If you don't like condos, unfriend me right now. Well, I guess you guys seen my wife ask me to boil the corn. It's corn night! A night that I love almost as much as porn night. Uh-oh. Well, y'all, I better go before we do lose power around here. Because, man, every time it damn thunders around here, we lose power. But I enjoyed talking to y'all today. And let me get this low battery out of the way. And now, I guess I gotta wait a week and talk to you again next Tuesday. Unless something important comes up. But yeah, let me get in there and get this corn a-boiling. You guys have a great week. Be safe. Don't go changing. Just be ready when it's time to break on through to the other side.